It's pretty comfortable now, but it's going to get hot and it's going to get humid, and we should have our first heat wave of 2023. I'm meteorologist Joe Martucci. Thanks for tuning in on your Tuesday here. For real, we're going to have a 3-day stretch at or above 90 degrees Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. We tried to do it a few weeks ago, but we didn't get there. We only went 2 days in a row above 90. Now, we are going to be a month behind schedule for this. Typically, our first heat wave begins on June 28th. But we don't have to go all that far back to see such a late start to our heat waves. In 2015, we did it later than what we will see this year. And in 2014, we didn't even have one heat wave at Atlantic City International Airport. Now, it will be muggy as well. Dew points are going to climb back into the 70s here. That's very muggy to me. And that means not only are we going to have the high temperatures, but we're going to have a heat index that should get above 100 degrees at times as well. Now, we take a look at our upper level pattern. This really explains why we're going to have our heat wave. So you see this area of high pressure in the desert southwest. You might have seen Phoenix has been in the 110s. Overnight lows have been in the 90s. It has been excruciatingly hot there, even for them. Very persistent heat. What's going to happen is a ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic Ocean will actually slide a little bit closer to us here and will slowly strengthen as we go into Friday and even Saturday. But here's the thing. This is still relatively zonal flow. See how those white lines move from west to east? Those are lines of equal, we'll say, height in the atmosphere. Well, what's happening is even with a zonal flow, we're going to be really on the hotter side here. If we had that ridge in the southwest overhead of us, we'd probably be talking about some days inland that got over 100 degrees without including the heat index. So yeah, it's going to be hot, but it definitely could be worse depending on how our weather would have set up. We take a look at our futurecast as we go into our Tuesday. So temperatures will be rising through the 70s and into the 80s. A few inland showers and storms develop after 3 o'clock, and they could get to the shore closer to sunset here. We'll say 90 minutes of your day at most will be wet here. Temperatures will be sliding back into the 70s during the evening. Overnight lows should be in the 60s inland, around 70 to 75 at the coast. Now, Wednesday should be a dry day for us here. In fact, it should be mostly sunny for us as well. Then we go into our Wednesday night. It's going to be a mild night, low temperatures in the 70s and well in the 70s at that. And then our heat wave starts as we go into Thursday. You see those highs in the 90s in Toms River and Bridgeton. We are going to watch for a cold front to possibly bring some rain our way. Now, computer models are keeping that rain to the north because our parent low pressure system is in Quebec, but it still could drag down and clip us with the shower too. We'll monitor it as we go into Thursday. But I will say most, if not all of your Thursday during the day will be dry. And look at those overnight lows as we go into our Thursday night and Friday. We'll probably end up being in the 70s inland in some shore areas. It's going to get close to about 80 degrees for a low temperature. Here's a look at our heat index for Thursday. You see a lot of 100s inland. Now, that's not super unusual for us. We get that a couple of times a year. We'll take you to Friday, though. You see the mid 100s. That's a little more unusual for us. And even the coast, well in the 90s in Atlantic City here. And then Saturday, Saturday is one of those days where we say it's not the heat, it's the humidity. Well, that's certainly the case. Just right before this ended, you saw a heat index in the mid 100s and a number of inland spots here. So even though the air temperature will be a little bit lower on Saturday, the dew points will be a little bit higher, and that's going to kind of balance things out. So here's a couple of heat safety tips. Number one, stay in the air conditioning as much as possible, particularly on Friday. That will be the peak of the heat. You want to avoid outdoor exercise and work between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I like to go bike riding. I usually try to make it before 9 a.m. anyway. I would definitely heed that advice as we go into our Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And stay hydrated. If you feel thirsty, it's already too late. You are already dehydrated, and make sure to keep your pets just as cool as we are as well. Take a look at our inland 7-day forecast. There are those 90s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here. Then we go into the weekend. Couple of showers and storms here, just with that humidity and the heat's going to break. Usually when your heat breaks and you have that humidity, you're going to get some thunderstorms. There could be some strong thunderstorms with this as well, with damaging winds. But either way, I don't expect it to be a washout Saturday or Sunday. We go to the shore 7-day. I want you to pay attention to our overnight low temperatures. Look at what we have on Thursday night, 77. I'm going 80 Friday night to Saturday morning. This happens on average 1 or 2 times a year. This is really the peak of the heat when it comes to our overnight warmth. And then we're still staying well into the 70s as we go into Saturday night. So it's going to be hot even at the beaches here as we go into the weekend, and we'll keep you updated on PressUpAC.com with radar articles, podcasts, and more.